Yes, 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 yes. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Lion's Den. For y'all that don't know, what we do is we focus on leadership, growth, and development with a call to action right on from the household to out in the community. So if you don't know, now you know, and you better go and ask somebody. We appreciate y'all and everybody for tuning in. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who is that? Yeah. Girl, you better show that shirt. Show that shirt. Do it again. Pop it. Pop it. Pop, pop. Look at that. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, Miss Danny? How you feeling, ma'am?
I'm doing all right. Happy Sunday. It's hot. Are you guys hot? Oh, Jesus, I am hot.
No. Hey, wait, hold on. This the one that asked. Hey, Jabri, how you feeling in San Ann?
You don't know hot until you come to San Antonio in
Yo, y'all
July.
been in triple digits for like a couple of days, ain't it? A couple of weeks?
Bro, I don't remember the last time it wasn't. It's triple digits at 9 o'clock at night. You hear me?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh
man.
my
yeah. You
God.
don't want them problems. You do not want these problems.
Oh, but what's going on over there in Tap Town, Miss Danny?
You know, today we were just out and about running errands, but like I said, it's hot. Everybody's out driving. They got the booty shorts,
Okay.
the cutters on, the flip flops. Lots of festivals and events happening over the weekend. All
That's
love.
that's what's up. All right, Jabri, you heard that, right? So be careful for your algorithms, okay? You don't want them popping. So,
Hey,
hey, hey, so look, what was your weekend? How's your week been, bro?
you know it's crazy. I didn't do anything, man. My daughter came back in town. She was
Nice.
gone. Spending time with her mom and her sister, and she got back on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been hanging out a little, staying out of the heat, man. That's all we
Bro,
do.
trying to.
Yeah,
Well, y'all,
yeah.
look, check this out, y'all. I had the opportunity, went on a date with my baby girl, and so we went to go see Inside Out. All right, part two. So those of you that haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. And plus, she turns 13 in a couple of weeks, right? And so the main character turns 13, in the movie. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is a trip. However, check this out. This is what we did. We spent some time. We went to our own little rooms or whatever, and so we drew our own emotions. Okay, our
Mm.
happiness, our fear, our anger, and all this other stuff. Our disgust. You know what that looks like. And man, that girl can draw. But when she saw mine, she was like, "Wow, wait a minute, what does this mean?" So for those of y'all that want to see it, y'all just let me know. You put it in the hashtag let me see, and after the show, I'll put up a couple of those pictures. But I think it's very important, though, seriously, not only to have these conversations with your kids, but also to explain to them what fear looks like to you, what anxiety looks like to you. Oh my God. You get what I'm saying? So when y'all watch that movie, if y'all do, I highly encourage that. So we appreciate y'all for tuning on in. So Miss Danny, do you mind introducing our guest today? Tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. So I'm very excited about today's guest. Just an avid supporter of me. I see her doing her thing. She's always supportive of what I do as a podcaster and coach. But we have Miss C, and she is, of all things, a mom in the DMV area. But I'm going to read a little bit from her website, Infinite Direction, which was born out of a passion for helping young people find their direction in life. As a technology and project management professional and mother, she has seen far too many bright and young, talented people struggling transitioning from high school into the workforce. So Herm actually kind of gave us an idea for today's discussion, and she was the first person that came top of mind for me. So I'm glad that she's here, and yeah, let's bring her on the stage.
All right. What's going on? Let's see.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Welcome to the Lions Den, Miss C. So tell us a little bit about yourself, ma'am.
Well, first of all, thank you, Seth, for inviting me, and Danny for being an advocate for me. So thank you guys for allowing for me to be here today. I am Chauncia Jones, aka Miss C. If you follow me on Facebook, I am the creator of the Career Strategies for Success guidebook and the creator of the career strategies for the Infinite Dreamer. And together they are the foundation of my career curriculum. It is a online program designed for youth ages 16 to 25 to teach them things that we learn in the workforce when we jump out there, all of those things that we learned the hard way. So that's what the foundation of my program is. And that's where I am now, just marketing, speaking with people such as yourselves who are also advocates for youth and helping them find the right path and go down the right path of leadership. So
Okay, right on, right on. Well, look, we
So can
appreciate.
I ask the first question?
Say what now? What you know? What you
let me
know?
jump in.
I know. So I was already on it, but I got you. Okay, I
Okay.
got you. And again, just want to thank you for being on, and shout out to everybody that's listening and tuning in. Hopefully, y'all do us a favor. Not only watch, subscribe right on, but then most of all share this, because this is some news that you can use. Okay, and don't forget, y'all, our primary source for this information is going to be on our YouTube page. So wherever you found out about this show, you need to go to the YouTube page, okay, so you can get the rest of this good stuff. But before we go into all the other questions, ma'am, what I would like you to answer, please, is why. What is your why? Why is this something that you would like to do and that you have a passion for? What is that?
Because I'm a mother. Why not? I said it so many times. Your first business is your home and what goes on inside of your house. And if you can't advocate for your own children and see them through the difficult times and the difficult years of teenagehood and that pre-adult threshold, how could you advocate for someone else? I have been able to successfully get my oldest into, support him into a career field where he has been establishing himself, and now working on my 17-year-old, and I have two more after that. So I'm a mother first. And so that's my biggest reason. There's so many youth out here who don't have that. They don't have parents who support them in any type of capacity. And so if I could be that for my own first, I can be that for others who don't have it.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to ask kind of tied to that question, the why, but also what have you noticed prior to you starting? What did you notice in the industry, like that you were kind of helping fill the gap because there was a lack? Did you notice anything like, okay, they don't have any programs in my area in the DMV, so that's why I want to establish this organization? Or what trends kind of stood out to you at the time?
Well, it wasn't that at all. Actually, what it was for me was to give back and kind of, well, I was a homeless teenager. I'll start there. I was homeless at 19. And fortunately for me, I had organizations that were able to support me through my growth process. So working with a mentor of mine early on in my business, it was an idea to go back and do the same thing. Well, unfortunately, we were in the middle of COVID. And so that's how the youth aspect came in for me, because I wanted to be able to give back in that capacity. So it wasn't something that I identified right out, because initially when I started my business, I was helping women, my age group, my peer group, with resumes. And so that's how my business initially started.
Hey, so quick question. So, well, just a little info about me. I have two daughters. I have a 22-year-old and I have a 19-year-old, soon
Oh,
to be
great.
20, yeah, 23 and 20. So somebody been praying for me all these years. That's all I'm gonna say, right?
Yeah.
But I have amazing young ladies, and they have a great foundational system. They have great. Their mother is an awesome woman. They have good grandparents, and I feel that they're blessed in a way that not a lot of kids have been. And I'm very transparent with them. I try to let them know some of the hurdles that I've been through. Even when they get discouraged at their age, I let them know, hey, quit looking quit looking at social media. You're exactly where you need to be, right? But a lot of kids don't really get a good foundation. And so my question is, what have you found in parents that have really been what have what have you had to unlearn or unteach to certain parents to really help their kids propel in certain situations? Because it really kind of starts with that foundation, and then I think if we teach parents out of bad habits, we can teach our kids how to grow in certain ways.
Well, we all on a journey. That's first and foremost. But it's really stepping away from parenting when you have like that 20, 19, 22, you're going to really step away from being a parent and really be a support system. And you got to kind of support them through their decisions, no matter what it is and no matter what it looks like. So, I mean, that's my answer to that. You parenting, you come with a don't come with a handbook. So, you know what I mean? Like you got to kind of one day at a time.
So no, I agree, especially, and just to piggyback on your point, I think what we have to do is understand that it transcends from just the disciplinarian as a parent that we've been accustomed to being when they growing up and try to protect their every move, and then we have
Yeah.
to transition into a point where we open lines of communication and we help them understand, like, hey, it's okay to do certain things, and I'm not gonna judge you for certain things, and just continue to keep going your way. So no, I completely agree with what you say.
It's natural for us to want to like protect them, you know what I mean? But we have to be careful of not getting into a space where we're parenting out of fear. I know I do
Hmm.
that sometimes, and I catch myself. You know what I mean? But then it comes across to them as controlling. And I've had these conversations with my especially my 17-year-old. It comes across as controlling because it would be unfair to say, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. You're robbing them of experiences that they really
Right.
do need to aid in their own growth process. So we can't totally say no, you know what I mean? Like shut it all down. We gotta let them have fun too.
Right.
But that's why it's important to instill those morals and values and be that example early on. And you know what I mean? And like I said it a million times on my show, I was a teen mom. And even with my oldest, I did a lot of growing with him. So it was a lot of
Mm.
things that he was exposed to. Like if had I been older, and like now, there would have been a lot of decisions and mistakes that I've made that he wouldn't have been privy to. So I mean, it's life. We're old enough to be able to support, and that's the reason why I think that mentorship, guidance, leadership is important.
Okay, well, look, thank you for that. And so, to your point, you're right. We are older. However, not everyone is mature enough to lead, not necessarily
Yeah.
lead, to even mentor, coach, or even develop children. So, within your teachings, right, that you have, are they do they coincide not only for the child but also for the parent as well, right? Because there's levels of understanding and communication that has
Mhm.
to be understood, I believe, right? So do you have something, or if you don't mind giving us a little walkthrough of the benefits of individuals that are able to utilize your manual and how they can grow as parents along with their children?
Well, my workbook or my book is strictly for the youth, and I did that because again, we don't want to control this is their process. This is for them. When I designed it, as you can see, it's an easily digestible, easy to read, you know what I mean? And it's suggestions.
Mhm.
It's suggestions. I'm not coming in trying to erase anything that the parents have done. And matter of fact, to be quite frank with you, I have been in many of pop-ups, many of events where I am marketing my workbook, and you'll hear a lot of the parents say, "Oh, I did that. Oh, I did my resume. We don't need that. I did my resume for my child already, or I already, you know what I mean." But you're leading your own kids, but again, you're robbing them of the experiences of making their own decisions. So, I mean, it's a catch 22. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go against anything that parents may, have set up for their child. I did an interview recently on my podcast where I interviewed Dr. Jennifer. Shout out to her. Where she said in the interview, she said a lot of the parents and the way she was raised make decisions for them. I think Jabri, you kind of said something close to that earlier. Well, I mean, yes, that'll work, but then you get 35, 40 years old and you having a midlife crisis because you realize that you never lived your life. You never made your decisions. So I say all that to say the workbook is to give them the ability to do that for themselves.
Mm. Okay.
Well, I do believe, though, and not to challenge you in this area, sis, but I do believe that when you put a child back in that same atmosphere, the work that you're doing can only go so far if they go back home and they're not getting everything that they need at home. So do you see sometime in the near future, maybe you can open it up for collaborations with organizations that can help with the family part? So you guys can do like the whole person when it comes to helping family and that youth? Or do you see anything coming down the pipeline that you would like to add to?
I would never be the one to say I won't collaborate. I think collaboration is great for success. My focus is the youth. So if someone wants to come in and focus on the family portion, that would be great. Like I love collaboration. I love working with people. I love talking to people. And to be quite frank, that's the reason why I did the podcast, is to have people come on and share their individual stories. None of our career journeys look the same. You have people that come from a lot of different backgrounds. They're in entrepreneurship, they're in media, they're in law enforcement. But the way that they got there is something that we need to hear. A lot of people have made mistakes along the way. A lot of people didn't have family support. A lot of people did. So to hear these journeys is it's amazing. And I think planting the seed, Danny, to answer your question, is more beneficial than trying to control the who, what, when, where, and why. At least just plant the seed.
All right, so in 19, I decided to join the military. I was in the Air Force for 23 years. I don't even believe I've really ever had a job, right? And so a lot of these things that you're actually doing and helping these kids, I didn't have those decisions to make. One, I didn't have any money, so I didn't have a whole lot of choices anyway, right? So my question, for a lot of these kids, there are a lot of different things that they see or have access to that kind of influences them in a way that it gives them too many options sometimes. So what are some of the pitfalls that you see that these kids are actually going through, since you have a lot of experience and you're hearing some of the things that they're maybe not struggling with, but they're considering, or they are or that they're coming across that is giving them moments of pause to move on in their lives?
Pressure. Pressure. Being under, and again, I my first business is my home. Being under pressure a lot, feeling like any little mistake that they've made adds to the anxiety of, oh, I've messed up the rest of my life, not realizing this is only a small part of it. Like, you have a long way to go, buddy. So I would just say unnecessary pressure. We put unnecessary pressure for them to make life decisions, and they're not really there yet. We gotta give them the space to make those mistakes.
That's a really good answer.
No, it is. So here, this one, I'm going to, I do got a question, but Herm, he's on the way. He's still driving. So he left a comment, and his comment was this. I think he says he's watching young adults who are afraid to move out on their out of their parents' house and won't leave weed alone or cut their hair or make any kind of adjustments in order to begin careers. How do we motivate? So I think that's a great question, not just for you, Miss Jones, but for everyone that's listening, because we come from different backgrounds, right? We have different life experiences, and we also see the ramifications of us not being who we know that we should be in order to be that for our children. Because let's be fair and honest, it's not necessarily about controlling the kids. However, those children in certain stages of their life, they don't have any guidance, right, to keep them on the right path. So then therefore, when those reins are off, they're not just doing things based off of feelings. They're doing things based off of logic and proof of concept, because us as adults, we're being transparent about, hey, I've been 12, I've been 14, I've been 18, I've been 20 before. You get what I mean? So as we have that conversation and go around the room, how would you, and I'll start with you, Miss C, and then I would love you, Danny, and also you, Jabri, to chime in, but how do we motivate those individuals? They can be kids outside of our house or even inside. How do you as an individual motivate the youth?
So I think the Lions Den with Seth is a great way to motivate the youth. I mean, like it's so we're in the age of the internet. We're in technology age. And to be quite frank and be honest, we are not the only ones that have an impact on our kids. Social media has also has an impact on our kids. But thanks to another guest that I've had, the home is the number one influence on the youth, according to a study that she came across. So go to my podcast. You can go listen to all those great interviews, but it's not about me. To answer your question, I think that's the reason why mentorship is so important, and finding people that we can look up to, even though they may not be in our vicinity, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that said, that or coaches, you know what I mean? YouTube University would be one of them. Share stuff with your kids. We never know who is going to connect with our youth. So yes, they might be smoking weed right now, and there might be someone that you have on your podcast that may have a story that a particular youth may connect with that can change the trajectory of their attitude and their behaviors. So that's the reason why, and I'm a big advocate of sharing your story. You never know who and what could connect with that particular youth.
Awesome. What you think, Danny?
So for me, again, context, I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. My 1-year-old will actually be 2 coming up this next week. But for me, it's just anything that I see that they're taking, they're like kind of getting more excited about or kind of really getting in tune with. So for instance, my oldest was really into drawing at some point, and he was into swimming. So then we started to take swimming lessons. So anything that I see that they're like taking a liking to, I try to change their environment so that they have access to those things a little bit more, so that they can explore those things a little bit more, and just letting them know, like even their favorite, one of their favorite TV influencers is Ryan. He's a young boy, but he's making a lot of dollars, a lot of money as a content creator on YouTube. So just always constantly telling my oldest, what do you think about that? Do you think you want to do something like that? And just constantly letting him know that anything is possible, even at his young age, and then not waiting until he's older before we start to explore different hobbies, but start now at the age that he's at, so that'll be his focus. And so that's what I do, just kind of like in changing their environment, taking them to different excursions and activities to help them explore and see things that are possible in their small little world.
Yeah, I like that. When
what you say, Jabri? What about you?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah, go ahead, Jabri.
Okay, yeah. So to be honest, man, I truly believe that we as and I'm 45 again. I have younger kids. I mean, adult kids. But I think we as parents, we sometimes fail our kids, man. And the reason why I say that is because we don't allow our kids to fall. And what I mean by fall is every step along the way, anything that they get into or anything that happens in their life, we're right there catching them. And so, it's good. It's a good thing to have that safety net, but at the same time, when they're of age and we try to push them out of the house and tell them, hey, go ahead and venture out and start doing your own thing, they've never known what it's felt like to actually fall. And so I think that's where a lot of this anxiety comes in, is because they don't have a solid concept of what it feels like to fail. We haven't allowed them to fail. Track and field, everybody's getting I'm just using that because the Olympics is coming on, right? Everybody's getting a medal, right? We're not individualizing kids and allowing them to even compete sometimes, right? So I think we as parents have to get to a point where we need to understand it's okay if they fail, right? Yeah. The biggest lessons in life sometimes come from failing, and I know I've done it myself. If I could, I would still be swaddling my girls right now. Their legs hanging right out the, you know what I mean? And so, but I think we just need to make sure that some of the lessons that we went through, we have to realize they weren't as bad as we kind of projected, as we say, or as we think they are, right? Some of the things that I went through that my mom allowed me to go through, now that I look back at it, it developed me into who I am. And I think we don't let our kids develop enough to be able to become independent enough to do the things that Herm was saying in his comment.
Yeah, so here we go. Big Herm, welcome back, dog. What's going on?
Man, what's going on? Can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you. We got you. Welcome.
Hey.
So what you think about your comment that you made, right? So how do you motivate people? Because you see all these kids every day, bro.
Yeah, I do, man. I try to talk to them. But so here's the thing for me, you know, I got 2 kids myself. And I feel like if you enable them, you setting them up for failure, right? After they become of age, it's like what Jabri was saying, you got to be able to let them know what failure looks like. Now, I'm going to always be there for my kids as long as I know that they're trying to be productive. But ain't no way you're going to be a young adult laying up in my house high all the time. You know what I'm saying? And with no job or really no aim for a career. There's no time to find yourself with me. You know what I mean? I'm going to find you. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and like, hey, well, let me give you a couple of options of what you can do. Right? You know what I mean? Because there's so many different career choices that a child can have. School, trade school, go to the military like I did, you know, or go to one of the city jobs, but you're going to do something. You're not about to just sit around. I'm gonna take a gap year. Hey, we ain't millionaires. You're not taking no gap year.
That's right.
Now, you know what I'm saying? You unless you about to travel abroad and do all this stuff, you're not taking a gap year. Gap your ass to a job. That's what you got to do.
You know
what I mean?
I feel you. And so what I do, man, for my daughter first, right, is first thing, let her know that the word fail just means first attempt at learning. That's it. You dig what I'm saying? That's all it is, right? And so just keep on going. And your father isn't perfect. I just make it look easy, but I had a lot of practice, and that's what it looked like, right? And then other than that, surrounding her with like-minded individuals, right? That's is going in the same direction, and keep her as far away from Sexy Red as possible.
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying? I don't care where she is, whatever on TV Bop is going off, Radio Boop is going off, all of that. TikTok, I'm gonna talk it out the window. So it's being intentional, what I mean. And same thing with the youth that surround me. I'm intentional about having transparent but also encouraging words, right? To let them know that I see potential in them, just to help them see it within themselves. There you go. Oh, back to you, ma'am. So
well, first, hold on, wait a minute. I want to give Danny her kudos for it. You know what I mean? I wanted to say that because when my kids was young, I used to take them to the museums and stuff downtown, and they hated it.
Oh yeah,
but it gave them exposure to different things. You know what I mean? So yes, that is very important experiences outside of the front door, outside of the playground, outside of the kids. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, you know how many kids are from inner cities and have not been to museums, have not been on trips outside of where they live. Yeah. So that's important. Shout out to you. But I say this, Seth, you know, we can't protect them against everything, you know what I mean? But it would be nice to have them critique why Sexy Red would not be appropriate.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
No, hold on.
Let them
hold on. I don't think you get it. I don't think you get it.
I say that because do you think when they go out the front door, they go to school or they go around their friends and they ain't listening?
No, listen. No, absolutely not. That would be ridiculous. But what I'm saying is, in my house, you get what I'm saying? Of course, I can't control what's out there. The world is the world for a reason. But I want her to know that she's in the world, not of the world. You see? Oh, it's not me controlling. It's so I really do believe it's a maturation stage. It's a maturity stage. So she's still in the stage right in between me cultivating and then going into coaching. And then after coaching, it would just be mentoring because I can't control it. I'll just be her mentor. I'm still her father, but it's more on the mentoring side. But right here, of course, I can't control what's going on out there. But guess what? You see, and I know I'm her bread and butter. You get what I'm saying? I'm still for oxygen. So in order for you to breathe, literally and figuratively, You ain't breathing no damn sexy red. You understand? So I bet not hear no pound town coming out of nobody's brown hole.
But I get what she was about to say though. I get what she was about to say, because it sounds like she's about to say, you know, now I won't put words in your mouth, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and say it. But well, and since I'm late and I'm trying my best, I'm looking at your name. How do I pronounce that?
You can just call me C Jump. It's Chauncia, but I don't want to subject the audience.
See, okay. See, can you expound what? Because it sounds like you was about to say for his daughter to explain why sexy red is not an appropriate choice. Am I
right? Because and the reason why I say that is because just to discover what their thought process is. You know what I mean? Like, we see all of Ice, what's her name? Ice Spice and all these people, and they're mainstream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their image is really forced down our throats, because none of us really agree to being on the stage shaking your butt. I mean, that's what they do. But I mean, and I've had a talk with my own daughter around the same age as Seth's daughter. So I get it, you know what I mean? But let them have that dialogue for them to discover why that's not an appropriate image of a woman. You know what I mean? That's what I was just, wanting to encourage.
So see, here's a question I have for you. We're going to the summer. It's kind of based off of what the question I already had. But we're going into the summer, and you see that your kid is struggling in school or whatnot, and they need some direction. I understand that you got a workbook, and I really didn't get the full explanation of your workbook, but how do you advise a parent to guide them in an appropriate way to where it doesn't feel like they're taking over their lives? Because it can get like that real fast when you feel like, man, my kid ain't making great grades. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're going to end up doing. I know that they can go into these fields, but my kid is not motivated. How do you advise a parent to approach that situation?
That's a tough question, because honestly, as a parent, you can be that disciplinarian. You can be that for your kid, but if they're not receptive to that, then that lets you know you have someone who needs to learn the hard way. And it's hard to see that, but experience really is the best teacher. And I could just talk from experience of being a parent of boys.
Okay.
Got 3 boys. So, I mean, you can encourage them. You can put stuff in front of them. Money is a motivator. Cell phones are a motivator. Going out with your friends are a motivator.
Hello.